Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will dive into the thrilling twists awaiting us in Port Charles this week of September 2nd, 2025. As the drama unfolds on the iconic docks of Port Charles, young teens Rocco Falconeri and Danny Morgan are in for a horrifying surprise that could shake the foundations of their innocent worlds. Picture this, the two boys, perhaps skipping stones or sharing stories about their complicated family lives, wander along the misty waterfront under the dim glow of evening lights. Suddenly, their casual outing turns nightmarish as they spot something unnatural bobbing in the dark waters. A lifeless body floating face down, clad in a distinctive blouse that screams recent tragedy. This isn't just any victim, it's Judge Heron, the stern judicial figure whose last moments involved a tense, secretive phone call to the enigmatic Jan Sidwell, a name that has been whispered in shadowy corners of the town. The blouse, with its elegant patterns now soaked and ruined, serves as a grim clue tying back to that fateful conversation, hinting at foul play involving powerful players. Shaken to their cores, Rocco and Danny rush to alert Sonny Corinthos, the brooding mob boss who's no stranger to the underbelly of Port Charles. With wide eyes and trembling voices, they describe how the body just appeared, drifting aimlessly like a forgotten secret from the depths. Sonny, ever the protector, might use this moment to shield the boys while piecing together the larger puzzle, perhaps reflecting on his own turbulent past with the law and loyalty. This discovery isn't merely a plot point. It amplifies the tension in the air, suggesting that no one in Port Charles is safe from the ripples of hidden agendas and betrayals. Shifting our focus to the Corinthos family dynamics, Michael Corinthos finds himself grappling with a wave of dismay that hits like a sudden storm. The news of Judge Heron's untimely demise spreads quickly through the grapevine, leaving Michael alarmed at the implications for ongoing legal battles and family secrets that could unravel everything he's built. Imagine Michael pacing in his sleek office at Aurora Media, his mind racing through scenarios where this death ties into broader conspiracies, perhaps even endangering his loved ones. But the dismay might run deeper, intertwined with personal heartache as rumors swirl that it connects to Willow Tate's unexpected reunion with Drew Kane, a development that stirs jealousy and uncertainty in Michael's heart. Willow, with her gentle yet resilient spirit, has been navigating her own emotional labyrinth, and this reunion could signal shifts in alliances that Michael never anticipated. As the week progresses, however, a glimmer of hope emerges when Michael uncovers some powerful new intelligence by Friday. This intel, possibly delivered through a trusted informant or a clandestine meeting, arms him with knowledge that could tip the scales in his favor. Whether it's dirt on rivals or insights into hidden motives, it's a reminder of Michael's strategic mind, honed from years of corporate intrigue and family feuds, turning potential defeat into a calculated advantage. Meanwhile, tensions simmer in the Baldwin household as Elizabeth Liz Baldwin steps up to champion Willow's cause with unwavering determination, drawing from her own history of resilience amid personal losses and medical crises. Liz passionately argues for understanding and support, perhaps in a heated conversation at the hospital corridors where emotions run high. Yet, Carly Spencer, the fiery matriarch who's built her life on fierce independence, shuts it down without hesitation, her walls up higher than ever. Carly's refusal might stem from her protective instincts toward her own circle, viewing Willow's choices as a threat to the fragile peace she's fought for. This clash highlights the contrasting worlds of these strong women, Liz's empathetic nursing background versus Carly's street-smart survival tactics. Adding to the mix, Lucas Jones pulls Liz aside for a stern warning, his words laced with concern drawn from his own experiences with family betrayals and romantic entanglements. Lucas, fresh from his own life upheavals, might caution Liz about the dangers of getting too involved, fearing it could drag her into a web of deceit that echoes past scandals in Port Charles. Over in the realm of budding alliances and desperate pleas, Trina Robinson seeks solace and assistance from Kai Taylor during a moment of raw vulnerability, tears streaming down her face. Trina confides in Kai that while he may not be able to aid Stella Henry in her current predicament, perhaps a health scare or emotional turmoil tied to family secrets holds the key to potentially rescuing Portia Robinson from an escalating crisis. Portia, as the dedicated doctor and mother, has been under immense pressure, and Trina's plea underscores the deep bonds of friendship and trust forming between her and Kai, a newcomer whose mysterious background adds layers of intrigue. This heartfelt exchange could mark a turning point for Trina, who's grown from a wide-eyed student into a young woman facing adult dilemmas head-on. Speaking of Portia, she steps into the spotlight with a monumental announcement that reverberates through the community, revealing a breakthrough in a medical case or a personal decision that alters her path. Infused with the weight of her professional ethics and maternal instincts, the undercurrents of manipulation and investigation keep the plot churning as Jack Brennan, the suave operative with a knack for pulling strings, sets his sights on influencing the commissioner. His tactics, subtle yet calculated, could involve whispered promises or veiled threats, all aimed at bending authority to his will in the name of some larger agenda. This power play adds a cloak and dagger element to the week's events, reminding viewers of Brennan's enigmatic role in Port Charles' espionage-laden underbelly. On the investigative front, Anna Devane and Dante Falconeri team up to dissect a fresh crime scene, their sharp minds sifting through clues like seasoned detectives. Anna, with her global spy experience, and Dante, grounded in local law enforcement, interview suspects with probing questions, uncovering layers of deception that tie back to the judge's death and beyond. Their partnership crackles with chemistry, blending intuition and procedure in a dance that's as thrilling as it is methodical. Bold moves define other characters' arcs this week, starting with Nina Reeves, who charges forward with a daring decision that could reshape her relationships and ambitions. Perhaps it's a risky business venture or a confrontation that exposes long-buried truths, showcasing Nina's evolution from vengeful to empowered. In a stunning turn, Alexis Davis is left utterly floored by a revelation, maybe legal documents or a family secret, that upends her world, forcing her to confront her past as a lawyer and mother with renewed vigor. Family confessions bring emotional depth as Curtis Ashford opens up to Jordan Ashford about the painful end of his marriage, sharing vulnerabilities in a quiet, intimate setting like a late-night coffee at the Metro Court. Curtis's split, fraught with regrets and what-ifs, leads to a moment where he might lean in for comfort, only for Jordan to gently pump the brakes. Wise and cautious, Jordan insists on clarity, wary that Curtis isn't merely seeking a rebound amid his heartache. Her stance reflects her growth into a confident deputy mayor, prioritizing emotional health over impulsive reconnections. Finally, the action ventures abroad to Croatia, where Jason Morgan stumbles upon a jaw-dropping discovery that could link back to Port Charles, cause perhaps evidence of an international conspiracy or a familiar face in hiding. Jason's stoic demeanor cracks just enough to reveal the shock, fueling his relentless pursuit of truth. Back home, Vaughn and Jocelyn Jacks face mortal peril, their fears mounting as threats close in, testing Jocelyn's bravery and Vaughn's loyalty in a high-stakes scenario that leaves hearts pounding. Next, we will explore the lingering sparks and potential reunions stirring up drama in Port Charles, diving into the rich tapestry of past romances on General Hospital. It's impossible to ignore the heartfelt connection that once burned brightly between Willow Tate and Harrison Chase. Back in those earlier days, their relationship was a beacon of genuine affection amidst the chaos of Port Charles' endless scandals. Willow, the compassionate nurse with a hidden past, found solace in Chase's steadfast integrity as a dedicated police officer. They shared stolen moments in cozy corners of the town, from quiet walks in the park to intense conversations over coffee at Kelly's Diner, building a bond rooted in mutual respect and shared dreams. Even as Willow's path led her to entanglements with Michael Corinthos and later Drew Kane, and Chase discovered deep love with the vibrant Brooklyn Quartermain, the embers of their friendship never fully extinguished. Lately, fate seems to be playing matchmaker, tossing them into frequent encounters, perhaps a chance meeting at the hospital, where Willow tends to patients, or a coincidental run-in during one of Chase's patrols. These interactions carry a subtle undercurrent of nostalgia, with knowing smiles and lingering glances that hint at unfinished business. Could the writers be laying the groundwork for a full-blown reunion, reigniting that old flame in a town where love stories often circle back like a well-worn carousel? It's the kind of tease that keeps fans speculating, wondering if these two souls, forever linked by their history, might find their way back to each other amid the swirling tempests of soap opera life. In a recent sit-down with Soaps.com, Caitlin McMullen, the talented actress who brings Willow to life with such nuanced emotion, opened up about the buzz surrounding a possible Chillo revival. When pressed on whether these former lovers could rekindle their romance, McMullen offered a tantalizing mix of optimism and realism, suggesting that she thinks it probably maybe could happen under the right circumstances. She elaborated on Willow's perspective, imagining her character reflecting on the enduring affection they share, saying something along the lines of, "No, Chase and I just will always have this love for each other. We'll always have each other's backs, no matter what." This insight paints Willow as someone who values the unbreakable support system they've maintained. Even through heartbreaks and new beginnings, McMullen didn't shy away from the drama, noting how their shared history of wild ups and downs think explosive breakups fueled by secrets, like Willow's concealed identity and Chase's own family revelation schooled easily, spiral into a messy emotional whirlwind in the unpredictable world of soaps. It's this potential for chaos that makes the idea so compelling, as McMullen's words evoke the image of Willow and Chase navigating a storm of feelings, perhaps starting with a supportive hug that lingers a beat too long, evolving into something more profound. Her comments add a layer of authenticity, drawing from the character's growth and the actress's own affection for the storyline, leaving viewers eager to see if these hints blossom into on-screen magic. Yet, as we ponder this reunion, it's clear that Chase remains the same compassionate, honorable man who first captured Willow's heart, a pillar of goodness in a town rife with deception, still donning his badge with pride and approaching life with that boyish charm intact. He's the type to volunteer for community events or offer a listening ear to troubled friends, his moral compass unwavering despite the corruption swirling around the PCPD. Willow, however, has undergone a profound transformation since those simpler times, emerging as a more complex figure shaped by life's brutal blows. Her exposure to Drew Kane's slick, opportunistic ways has left an indelible mark, infusing her with a sharper edge that contrasts her once innocent demeanor. Think calculated decisions in boardrooms or subtle manipulations to protect her interests. Compounding the shift is the devastating loss of her children, Wiley and Amelia Corinthos, a tragedy that has plunged her into a vortex of grief, manifesting in sleepless nights haunted by memories and a fragile mental state that teeters on the brink. This heartache has pushed Willow to explore darker impulses, from obsessively shadowing Daisy Gilmore in a bid for closure or control, which ultimately drove Sasha Gilmore to flee Port Charles in fear, to her increasingly harsh treatment of Michael post-breakup, laced with biting words and cold shoulders that reveal a woman hardened by pain. These changes paint Willow as venturing into bad girl territory, her actions blurring the lines between victim and instigator. Yet they also humanize her, showing how profound loss can warp even the kindest hearts. That said, these evolutions don't rule out the possibility of a romantic comeback. In fact, they could fuel a compelling narrative where Willow maneuvers her way back into Chase's affections, with a blend of vulnerability and cunning. Imagine her confiding in him during a vulnerable moment, her tears drawing out his protective instincts, slowly weaving a web of rekindled intimacy. This scenario gains traction given the current strains in Chase's relationship, with Brooklyn Quartermain, the couple, deeply in love and envisioning a future together, are hitting roadblocks in their efforts to expand their family, perhaps facing fertility challenges or adoption hurdles that test their resilience. Brooklyn, with her fiery Quartermain spirit and musical talents, has been a perfect match for Chase, sharing laughter-filled evenings and supporting each other's ambitions. But these family-building frustrations could create cracks, leaving room for old flames to flicker back to life. Would Willow exploit these tensions, using her shared history with Chase to offer comfort that borders on seduction? It's a deliciously soapy dilemma, one that could lead to explosive confrontations and heartfelt reckonings, forcing Chase to choose between his stable present and a passionate past. So, dear viewers, as the storylines in Port Charles continue to twist and turn, the question lingers: would you like to see Willow and Chase reunite, breathing new life into their timeless connection? Next, we will delve into the most captivating highlights from the week of August 25th to 29th, packed with jealousy, heartbreak, and unexpected twists in Port Charles, kicking off with the simmering tensions in the Ashford family. Portia Robinson's jealousy toward Jordan Ashford boils over in a way that's impossible to ignore, and it seems she might have every right to feel threatened given the lingering glances and unspoken history between Jordan and Curtis. Portia, typically the composed doctor who's navigated everything from hospital crises to personal betrayals with grace, lets her insecurities erupt at the worst possible moment, right on the heels of Stella Henry's shocking arrest, which has the whole town buzzing about potential corruption ties. Instead of rallying together in this family emergency, Portia launches into a heated confrontation with Curtis in her office, her words sharp and accusatory, dredging up old wounds from their rocky path to marriage, including past infidelities and trust issues that never fully healed. The timing feels utterly out of place, as if she couldn't hold back her frustrations even while Stella, the wise matriarch who's mediated countless disputes, is being carted off in handcuffs amid flashing police lights and curious onlookers. To top it off, as Curtis prepares to rush to his aunt's aid, perhaps coordinating bail or legal help, Portia issues a dramatic ultimatum, threatening to dissolve their marriage entirely if he dares to walk out that door. Curtis, with his signature calm demeanor forged from years as a private investigator and club owner, pauses for a heartbeat, his eyes reflecting a mix of disappointment and resolve, before turning on his heel and exiting without a word. In our minds, we can almost hear him channeling a classic film line like, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn," as he strides away, leaving Portia stunned in the sterile glow of her office lamps, the door clicking shut like the end of an era. This bold move underscores Curtis's priorities, placing family loyalty above marital strife, and it sets the stage for what could be a prolonged rift, with Portia left to grapple with her possessive streak in the quiet aftermath. Shifting to a rarer sight in Port Charles, Anna Devane lets her guard down in a haze of alcohol at the cozy yet dimly lit Brown Dog Bar, a spot that's seen its share of whispered confessions and lonely nights. We don't often witness this poised former spy, with her impeccable suits and razor-sharp instincts, succumbing to the bottle, but perhaps it's time for more glimpses into her vulnerable side, especially as she joins the chorus of grief-stricken residents, mourning the tragic fate of Maxie Jones. Devastated by Maxie's sudden downturn made flashbacks to her own losses, like the presumed death of her daughter Robin or past WSB missions gone wrong. Anna seeks solace in a few stiff drinks, the amber liquid swirling in her glass as she stares into the polished bar top. Her thoughts drift to Jocelyn Jacks, the young woman who's like a surrogate daughter, and anger bubbles up over Jack Brennan's sly recruitment of Joss into the shadowy world of the WSB, exposing her to dangers that echo Anna's own perilous career. In a moment of tipsy resolve, Anna dials Brennan, her words slightly slurred with a British lilt that's both endearing and fierce, berating him for pulling an innocent like Joss into espionage webs that could shatter lives. What's fascinating is how swiftly Brennan materializes at the bar, his charming facade masking ulterior motives, checking on her with a mix of concern and calculation, perhaps offering a steady arm or a listening ear under the soft hum of neon signs. This quick response sparks intrigue. Could it hint at deeper feelings brewing between them? A potential spark that might ignite once Carly Spencer inevitably casts him aside. In one of her whirlwind decisions, it's a scene that humanizes Anna, revealing cracks in her armor and teasing future alliances or romances, amid the bar's haze of cigarette smoke and muffled conversations. On the romantic front, it comes as little shock to see Willow Tate circling back to Drew Kane, her patterns of dependency resurfacing like clockwork in the midst of her personal turmoil. Willow, once the wide-eyed teacher turned nurse who's battled everything from cancer to identity crises, quickly reverts to viewing Drew as her knight in shining armor, blindly trusting his promises without questioning the shady undercurrents. It doesn't take long for her to fall into this trap again, perhaps, after a tearful encounter in the park where autumn leaves crunch underfoot, convincing herself that he's the only one who can salvage her shattered world. Her intelligence seems to take a backseat as Drew vows to reclaim custody of her children, Wiley and Amelia, through whatever backroom deals or legal loopholes his political clout can muster. And Willow, desperate and isolated, doesn't probe the how of it all. In a bold escalation, she sweetens the pot by offering herself as the ultimate reward. Succeed in this mission, and she'll return to his arms fully. Her words whispered in a moment of heated vulnerability that blurs lines between gratitude and manipulation. This dangling incentive adds a layer of complexity, painting Willow as both victim and architect of her own entanglements. Set against the backdrop of Port Charles' bustling courthouse or Drew's sleek campaign office, where ambitions clash with emotions in a high-stakes game. Wrapping up the week's emotional peaks, the farewell scenes surrounding Maxie Jones proved to be gut-wrenching, pulling at heartstrings as her loved ones gather to bid adieu, before she's transported to a specialized facility in Boston, locked in a coma that leaves hope hanging by a thread. Spinelli, with his quirky tech genius and unwavering devotion, clutches her hand, whispering promises of hacking miracles to bring her back. Her children, wide-eyed and confused, plant kisses on her forehead amid the sterile beeps of hospital machines. Mac Scorpio, the gruff yet tender father figure, fights back tears while reminiscing about family barbecues. Brooklyn Quartermain offers songs of comfort from her musical soul, and even Lulu Spencer, emerging from her own shadows, shares quiet words of sisterly bond. But it's Christina Wagner's portrayal of Felicia Scorpio that truly shatters viewers, embodying a mother's raw anguish with stunning authenticity. Dressed in rumpled sweats that speak to sleepless nights, her hair tousled in disarray, and makeup smudged from endless crying jags, Felicia collapses into sobs that feel palpably real, her body language conveying waves of despair as she strokes Maxie's hair one last time. We experience every nuance of her pained, trembling hands, the choked pleas to the universe making the scene a masterclass in emotional depth. Tragically, Wagner draws from her own real-life sorrow, having endured the profound loss of her child, which infuses her performance with an unparalleled rawness that honors both the character and the actress's resilience. Kudos to her for channeling such heartache into art, leaving audiences reaching for tissues and reflecting on the fragility of life in Port Charles. There you have it, another unforgettable week on General Hospital, blending raw emotions with dramatic flair. Tune in next time for more insights, and let us know your favorite moments in the comments.